Om Shanti. I'm audible to everyone?
Yes, Om Shanti.
Perfect. Return to the sitting posture. Keep your back straight, align. Remove the glasses and gently go into your asana. Be aware of your asana, your alignment. Now very slowly move your attention towards the natural pure breath which is going in and coming out. Observe the natural pure breath. Now take a deep, long inhalation for the 3-time Om along with Shanti. Inhale for the Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibration and sensation. Join your both palms. Rub your palms. Place on your eyes. Very slowly while blinking, looking at your palm. Gently open up your eyes with a great smile. Om Shanti. So, quick review what we discussed in previous class. We discussed about the sattvic food. Am I right? And sattvic food and food for the yogi, right? Yogi, bhogi, and we discussed about that, the part of the mitahar. So now today we're going to discuss about the rajasic food. So write it down, rajasic food. The food for the bhogi. The rajasic food, food for the bhogi. So rajasic food, all the spices, basically the hot potency spices, like which is hot in nature, like turmeric, ginger, garlic, onion, and onion though having the cold in nature, and the ajwain. Then we have many types of the spices, chilies, black pepper, white pepper. These are the hot spices which increase the heat of your body, and rajasic food means which contain the heat, which give you the instant energy. Coffee, tea, these are the cacao. cacao powder or cacao fruit. These, give you the instant energy. So these come into the Rajasic category. So Rajasic category food is basically related to the people who are seeking the pleasure, who want to enjoy their life, who want to remain healthy, but their activity, they're farmer, they do the day-to-day activity, physical activity. They are farmer, they are warrior, they are soldier, they are doing the certain kind of fighting in sports, they are athlete. These are the Rajasi category people, or they just want to, or people who just want to, you know, want to enjoy their life. They do the party, or just they have lots of energy in them. They're going gym, or sports activity, or any physical activity. They are into it. Like they're choosing the Stanga style, or Rocket, Bikram Yoga, or Vinyasa style. These are make you more active, and to make you more active physically, you require the Rajasic food, physically and mentally also. So when you are physically active, you're mentally also gonna active. You become little bit, clear. Your vision would be clear. Your mind would be more sharp, more concentrated, and you achieve the success, right? So Rajasic food, uh, all the food which is come into the category of Sattvagun, but just by adding some kind of spices, hot spices into that, you can make the Rajasic. Okay, so those, any food which is fresh, you know, freshly available in your market, those also come into the Rajasic category. You just add the spices like green pulse. I talked about it come into the Sattvic category, but when you add the garlic into it, you add the chili into it, you add the hot spices into it, and you make a little bit, onion, tomato, all these things you use for saute, uh, and you make tasty the green pulse, and then it's become converted into the Sattvic food to the Rajasic one. And without spices, boiled green pearls is remain the sattvic. Or the raw sprout green pearls is very, very sattvic in nature. So sattvic food also can become the rajasic, the way you prepare, the way you cook, right? So all the fresh vegetables, all the spices, all the fruits, and even non-veg come into the Rajasic category also. How you prepared that the question. Um, so instant word for your activity, what kind of activity you are performing, accordingly you have to take your meal. So if you're sitting for the desk job, you are in corporate world, you are not moving you are not doing certain physical activity much. So in that you require the very slightly light, um, yeah, fragmented food also you can take it. That's coming to the Rajasic category. Fragmented happen, and it's become more easy to digest, and your body gonna absorb easily also. That's coming to the category of the Rajasic. Fragmentation means certain kind of bacteria evolve in that, and then it is healthy for you. Okay, so these are the Rajasic. These don't think about there is a list, but the preparation, how you're making it, you convert sattvic food into the Rajasic, even sattvic food into the tamasic also. So all the varieties of the vegetable, local vegetables, freshly vegetables come into the Rajasic category. All even other kind of milk except the cow milk come into the Rajasic category. Okay, camel milk, donkey milk, then yak milk, that come also in the Rajasic category. It gives you the energy. Cow milk considered to be the sattva gun, and Ayurveda talks about the yogi has should drink the cow milk. It's very beneficial. It's considered to be like a milk of the mother, uh, of the child. So it's very easy to digestible, and complete ahar. It means complete food provided to the, and it's basically developing and making the strong all the saptadhatu, 7 types of the body tissue would be strong when you are taking the count. uh, what you have here, just what we are going to say, if one person is in lecture, they should eat light. Yes. So because fried vegetables, fried non-veg, because non-veg, if you are taking and you are performing not the physical activity, you are like soldiers and those, they require the high protein diet. The protein intake which come from people are eating the non-veg in order to get the good protein, right? But Ayurveda is not talking about that. You should eat the animals, taking the flesh. But in case your physical activity, you are soldier, you don't have many options. So in that condition, non-veg can be taken. But the people who are sitting in the company, they have the varieties of the vegetables. Vegetables take less time than comparison to the it's give the pressure to your digestive system, and you require the huge amount of the fire in your body. You remember I talked about the agni, the jathar agni. That jathar agni basically help you to digest the food. But when you are not physically active, your occupation is not like you're professor, you're a teacher, you are mostly not into the physical activity. That time you don't require to eat the non-veg. If you're eating it, converted, it not would be digested by your body and converted into the ama, and then you face ama gonna reach to each and every part of the body, and then you get the many fatal diseases. And our why we are eating? To remain, to to attain the health, to remain healthy. If you're healthy, to remain healthy, then you have to follow. If you're unhealthy, to become the healthy, then you have to follow. So this is the concept of what if bhogi, you are bhogi, so you should be a great bhogi. Don't eat to make yourself sick just for taste bud. You know what is a right, like white flour is very dangerous for your body, right? Because the white flour is not absorbed by the belly of your stomach, and we are having it in many forms, in the loaf of the bread, in the pasta, noodles, many varieties we are consuming, bakery, most of the bakery products. It's harming your system. So use your common sense that what is the right for you, what is the wrong for you, what is the correct diet for you. Those things only increase your constipation, increase your diarrhea, increase bloating. And if your stomach is gonna disturb, that is my words, if your stomach is disturbed, eventually your whole body organs would be gonna face the problem related to that. You would be eventually, sooner or later, you would be having the diabetic, you would be having the liver related issues, you would be having the cardio related issues, you would be having the the mind and brain related issues, neuro disorder you would be getting. So don't think, if oh my stomach is only, I just get the indigestion. No, if your stomach, that is a kitchen of your system. If kitchen is filthy, if kitchen is dirty, if kitchen is not clean properly, if not cooking properly, it means all the house would be gonna affect by the bacteria, virus, and other things. Cockroach first develop in the kitchen. All the mostly bacteria develop in the kitchens and your washrooms. So your kitchen and your kitchen is your stomach, and the washroom is your anal part, right? Your whole digestive tract. So these two things you have to take care. If your Agni is working properly, you would be you can, eventually attaining your health. So because all the nourishment is going from your stomach and your small intestine. So good bacteria you require. So fragmented food, yes, you can take it. So Rajasic, right, a moderate diet, freshly vegetables should take in. Fragmented, yes, you can have it, but not white flour, fragmented food, okay? Whole wheat grain, but yes, if you are gluten, understand gluten concept is very new. It's not vegan, and gluten concept is very new. it's in ancient time, there is no gluten-free diet available or lactose intolerance. These are the very new modern diseases, right? What happened because of the changes happen in the production of the milk and production of the wheat and production of the other things. That's why your body is denying to accept the hybrid production of these, products. So milk is altered completely. That's why you get the lactose intolerance. Wheat, they are having the highly chemical, given to the crops, and that's how hybrid wheats are produced, and that's how you get the gluten intolerance. And then the vegan diets come because the exploitation of the animals is very, it's become the business nowadays, and so your body is rejecting it. But fresh, those even, this is my experiment on myself also earlier. I earlier could not digest the milk, but I did. Whenever I get the fresh, happy cow milk, the good milk varieties, my body is accepting it. But whenever I take the packet milk and the which is available in the market, that I get the bloating issues, I get the lactose intolerant symptoms. But whenever I get the freshly, cow, good, happy cow milk, and I did the research over that, my body gonna accept it because you have the those enzymes in your body, but because of the coding is changed of the product, because of hybrid and lots of chemical into that, your body is rejecting it. So don't take those things. So just figure out if you get the good varieties of the wheat, you can try it. Maybe your body gonna accept it. But hybrid packet maida, packet flour, you cannot digest. Your body is little bit more sensitive. Your body know what is right for you, what is wrong for you. Okay, so listen to your body. Ayurveda only talks about all the signals your body is giving to you, which diet is good for you. Veganism, yes, you can opt this thing because in European culture, uh, still India is little better than the Europe because still we have the good varieties, local cows, milk available, open wheat, not hybrid, not that much production is changed. Still there is a traditional way of cropping and the planting is going on, but European is completely changed. So in that case, you can be a veganism, you can follow the veganism, you can follow the glutenism. So there's no harm. So instead of taking the cow milk, you can have the oats milk. You can have, there's many varieties of the milk is available, but again, not packet milk. Make at your home. It's very easy to make the soya milk, oats milk, and the almond milk, cashew milks. These are, these milk you can take instead of the animal milk. But if you get the fresh milk of the yak, you can try it. If you're traveling in these kind of area, but make sure those animals should be kept in the, in happy environment. So you can meet your animal and then you can try it. Your body gonna accept it. Okay, body eventually gonna accept it. Try it. You can do the experiment like this. But yes, all the packets food and drinks would be harmful for your body because lots of chemical they add, lots of preservative to add, not to spoil the milk, not to spoil the juices, not to spoil the food. So even understand when there is no bacteria is developing in the food, it means there is highly chemical. Even bacteria eat those things which is not having the chemicals. So understand those whatever food is available to you, if they start rotting quickly and spoil very quickly, it means those are edible for you. Are you understanding the concept of this? Yes,
Yes, I think the same concept applies even to refrigerating the food as well, right? Because we are refrigerating, but in the natural process of the process of bacteria developing slows down, but the
exactly.
bacteria still develops in that, right?
Yes, yes, true. So even that's I'm come to coming to that thing also, that that's come in tamasic category. So all the packet food, refrigerator food, you keep the food for longer period of time in the fridge, especially the cooked food you cook in the morning and eating in the night and day, tomorrow, um, or many days, especially the bakery shops and those shops, cafe, most of the cafes which giving you the, providing you the sandwich and the bread and those things, these are come into the tamasic category. Understand, whatever food, if you get the sattvic food, now you add the spices, it become rajasic. Now you store those food, you cooked it and now you're storing in the fridge, it becomes tamasic. After 3 hours, food is not remain for eating. Within a 3 hour, you have to consume the cooked food. Raw food, you can, store it little bit, like you can see it, then eat fresh if possible. Try to be, keep the food, eat keep the food away from the fridge storage system. And but yes, pickle you can take. Fragmented food required the 1 day or 48 hours. That food also you can take, because that's how we make the wines and other things. You can take it.
Pickle
But
also comes under tamasic food, right?
which one? See, alcohol and all the procedure of these fragmentation, which require the fragmentation for longer period of time, that come into the Rajasic category, because you are evolving the bacteria and then you are refining, purifying later on. So procedure play very much important. If wine and the alcohol is not purified, completely, not remove the impurities, then it can kill you. That's its tamas gun would be increased in that. Okay, but if you purify it properly, you know the procedure, then it become rajasic. So alcohol come into the, because instant energy you will get by taking these kind of herbs, so it's come into the rajasic category. So people drink, people but smoking is not good. Okay, five kind of herbs are, Ayurveda talks about it, but the purification is very much important. If the people does, and modern times they don't know how to purify the herbs, so weed and other drugs you are just taking like that, and you don't does not know the purification. Even the modern times people does not know how to purify those poisonous herbs. Okay, so
Which herbs are you talking about?
like weed, charas, ganja, these kind of things, right? Bhang, these are the plants based.
Intoxicating ones. Okay.
If you take directly, or dhatura, these are the names. I don't know the English name. So these are the plant based.
Marijuana, weed.
Yeah. So these things, if you take, directly plants from the plants, you can die. You get the fatal disease, or you can die even. But the purification is very much important. Um, only the few bad know about it. Okay, if you, yes, Amber, you asked this thing.
Yeah, I was just wondering about um like fresh food. Can you freeze it and that's still considered good, or does it turn like
No,
when you freeze the food for like to warm up later?
no.
What's
Understand, if raw food you're gonna freeze it again, still like freshly vegetables you taking out from the, cropping out and cutting down, and you're making it, the taste is totally different. Then you're storing into the fridge, and then later on you're cooking, then taste is completely different. Now you cook the food and then refrigerating and then eating, the food is completely different. If you observe this thing, I observe it. Taste is changed. Why the taste is keep changing? Because of the bacteria is start, evolving in those kind of food. So we don't have much option right now. So now what we ancient times the people use the water and they make the big pond, and they the mud pond, and they keep the water into it, and then they use the clay pot and use some sand and some bhusa ko kya bolte hain? Anybody know the bhusa? The kind of
Hay,
grass.
hay.
Hay, yeah. They use the hay grass, and then they kept the things under that in order to prevent the bacteria's fast growing procedure, right? These things they use it. So it's a natural fridge they are creating it. But right now, with fridge you are using it, it's basically it's run by the gas. And if you're storing into that kind of fridge, still uncooked food, still you can store it. But again, yes, bacteria gonna develop, right? It's gonna be ripened, but you're gonna slow down the bacteria procedure. Okay, that's gonna happen. But cooked food you cannot refrigerate. When you cook the food within a 3 hour, you have to consume it. If not possible, so within a 24 hour, you have to consume it. Not keep into the fridge. Without keeping into the fridge. Okay, so this is it properly, cut it quickly, and saute them. Don't even cut and store in the fridge. That also not good. Bacteria procedures start happening fast, right? So
Also,
this is the guideline we have.
reheating will
Lose
bring
the
down the nutritional value also, right?
yes, yes, yes. But what we can do when you are traveling and you don't have much option. So instead of eating outside, stale food, rotten, all the cafes are giving you the rotten and stale food. Believe me, they are not cooking fresh for you. Okay, they don't going to do that much hard work. Either it's a high five-star restaurant. Five-star restaurant is worth, worst food they are giving to you. Now, especially street food, still they provide you the fresh things. Still, they are give you the good amount of the quality of food. Now, what we can do? So, in Indian culture, we have the varieties of like puri and the thepla in Gujarat. We have the so many kind of and sweet, certain kind of sweet we make, which last for the 1 month, and some kind of pickles, some kind of what we call chapati, which is fried chapati, and we used for 2-3 days when we're traveling. So that is the best option. Instead of eating outside, you can eat these things. In European countries, what you can do about it, you can carry the oats with you. You can eat banana. Though hybrid banana is available in the market, but still it's better than the cafe's food, rotten stale food. While traveling, you can go switch to the fruits diet. Okay, that's again you get the chemical, but less amount of the chemical you will get instead of eating the packets, bread, butter, vegetables, or which is coming to the packet, canned food. Instead of that, you can make few things, or you can just carry the fruits, whole fruits, don't cut it down, carry it, wash it, properly wash it and keep into your bag, and whenever you're hungry, you can eat it. That's gonna pacify for your traveling. Vegan, gluten free, mostly you should opt the vegetables. And one more thing, do not depend on the exotic vegetables. This is a or superfood. Superfood, there's a very wrong concept is going around in the today market. This is the just business is going, right? Media is basically pharmaceutical companies, medias, and these food companies are doing this trap for you guys, making the trap for you guys. There's no superfood. The local food, which is cheap, available for you, that is a superfood for you. Okay. Understand? There's no exotic food. Don't go for the exotic food, hybrid food, and expensive fruits. Whatever expensive fruit is available in the market, it means they are highly chemical. They have given the chemically, they are producing it. So try to avoid it. A little bit rotten, little bit half rotten, half, look very dirty, look very filthy, and tede mede jo hote na, not having the proper shape. Those are the good for good for you. So chamakdar cheese right now, which is shining food, is available in the market, in supermarket especially. I don't buy those things. Those are just they having the waxing on the top, another shining chemical they are gonna add on that, and even by washing you cannot remove it. So, and tag, they add the tag on the top also. Again, the tag is contain the kind of wax which is very dangerous, which can kill you, which give you the fatality. So don't eat those kind of things. Clear this much? Lovely. So tamasic food, I talked about it. All within a 3 hour, if you're consuming it, after that it becomes tamasic. Okay. If you're refrigerating and reheating, it's tamasic food. It's not having the nutrition. Okay. It's not giving you the nutrition value. So make sure whatever come into the packet, refrigerator, from food from the refrigerator, and how you are cooking, which utensil you are cooking. So write it down, this thing also. The best method of the cooking the food, that's also you can make the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So best utensil for cooking the food. And the way you are cooking, with what emotion, what intention you are cooking the food. So clay pot considered to be the good, pot for the cooking, because it preserves the 100% nourishment of the food. So Asian culture, if you see it's Italian or this France or Spain or in Morocco, even when I went to the Morocco, they use the Tajin, cooking way. Tajin is the procedure to cook the food and to preserve the nourishment to the food. So very traditionally, we used handi, the pot of the clay on the mud. If you can use those things, it become the sattvic. You can increase the tattva guna of the food, and that is make you healthy, physically and mentally. But if you don't have the clay pot, and because of your use other things on the gas, and it required more time also, you want something very fast. So in that condition, you can use the iron. Second best is iron pot. Even people who are having iron deficiency, they should even cook the food in the iron pot and also eat in the iron pot. Okay, they eat and cooked, but don't store the food in the iron pot. For that, you can use the clay pot for storing the food, or the glassware. Okay, glass glassware you can use for that, or the hot clay utensil you can use it for storing the food, especially for 1 or 2 hours. So quickly you can consume it. Now, then if you don't have, if even if you don't have the clay pot, iron pot, so petal, the brass you can use, the mix, you know, brass you can use, then you can use the stainless steel. Again, that stainless steel is again the heat of the stainless steel is less more than the aluminium. So aluminium, mix in your food, and your body doesn't require the aluminium, and that it's gonna cause you the cancer, tuberculosis, and other fatal diseases, lungs related problems, lung psoriasis, skin vitiligo, major problems. of the body you can have if you're cooking the food in aluminum and Teflon utensil, all the non-stick ware, because the on the top layer, very less oil. The all the utensil which is claiming that you just less oil on the top and we can cook in very less oil. Your body also required the oil, the ghee, the butter. You required it. If oil is not oily, it's not oil, right? Don't go for the refined oil. It should be oil should be oily, simple, right? Don't People are just they are losing their mind and they are adding so much chemical into to refine the oil and making the oil less oily. Then it's not considered to be oily. Either take the oil or stop the oil. There's no less oily oil product you're gonna use it. This is a very wrong concept notion is going in the market. Okay, they just want the money, that's why they are doing it. They're promoting these kind of things. So and again, what kind of oil you can use for cooking? All the oil which is available locally in Indian continent, you don't require the olive oil. Understand, right? And people are crazy about the olive oil, and it's very expensive here. But in European countries, in Morocco and other places where olive is growing, there's a very cheap available. It's because there's locally available. In Indian continent, is coconut oil and the mustard oil is the best for this climate. In European countries, if you have the argan oil, like in Morocco, argan oil is common for cooking, and then olive oil, where you have that, continent where olive oil is available locally, then that oil you can, or any other oil which is locally available. It's suitable for your body. Don't buy the across the world kind of oil. You don't require the mustard oil. You require olive oil because it's suitable for your climate. You require argan oil because it's suitable for the Moroccan climate. So make sure everything which is locally available that you can gonna use. Okay, South Indian people in Indian continent, coconut oil they use for the cooking because coconut is very common there. And we required on North Indian, they use the mustard oil because mustard oil commonly available. So I hope this you understand. So for cooking oil is clear. Then either you can use clay pot, iron pot, or stainless steel, or the brass mix utensil. You can use it, and you can use the glassware. Okay, uh, glass utensil you can use for storing the food, but not for the cooking, but storing the food. So glassware, clay pot for storing the food. For cooking, clay pot you can use it, glassware you cannot use it. Fire also play important role. So make sure agni should be there. There should be a fire. It should not be cooked in the electric oven or electric induction or these kind of things. They kill the pranic energy of the food. Food become dry. They take the prana from the food and it's become tamasic. The moment you cook the food in the oven, electric oven, Asian time people use the oven, the wood oven. Wood oven is good, but electric oven is make the sattvic rajasic food into the tamasic immediately. Induction, there is no fire. You are using the electricity for cooking. That gonna kill the pran of the food. So I hope you understand these things. Rest of the utensil is dangerous for your system. So don't kill yourself, okay? We are killing ourselves. So today now itself take the pledge, immediately change the utensil of your home, at your home especially. But yes, all the cafes, all the many schools I've worked, many schools, they use the aluminum. Even I talk to them, but still they use aluminum because it's cheaper utensil. But at least at your home, you can bring the change. As I, bought the, like, I changed my home kitchen. I know you're gonna have great fight with your mom. Moms are very much attached with their utensils. They're never gonna throw. So you have to take the stand here because it's your life, your family life is dependent on that. You are giving the poison to your family member. And if you are not cooking, you are allowing them to have the poison on the daily basis. So make your decision. So this is even the cooking way. Even intention, if you're having the wrong, like you are angry, you are disturbed, you are sad, you are under depression, you are menstruating, that time you are cooking. Even during the menstruation, you should not enter into the kitchen. Why? Because your energy is down, your body is changing, you're having the pain, you're not happy. And that's sad. With this sadness, you are cooking, the energy go into the food and you're feeding rest of family. That's, again, that energy gonna spread to the whole family member. So whenever you are sick, you are menstruating, or you are having little bit even problems mentally or physiological, which gonna disturb your mind, don't enter into the kitchen. I hope you understand this thing. This much is clear. So the best
When
utensil,
when there is
yeah.
nobody to cook except you, then you don't really have a choice, right? Whether you're sick or
Okay,
you're
now,
not sick. So I think that you don't really have a choice. You have to go and cook.
okay. And if there's nobody's at your family and you're cooking for yourself, uh, my is observation is that go for fasting. But if you're really hungry, you want something, then only cook for yourself. Don't feed.
No, we can fast, but then you have to cook for the family also. You have a family of four, you have kids, then you have to cook no matter what, whether you're sick, whether you're not sick, you have to cook, right?
I know in Indian family it's very much difficult because now it's nuclear family, but earlier time that is not the concept.
Yeah,
If
but in
one
today's
feed,
time, that is a huge problem.
yeah, this is the huge problem. Make sure if your kids are very small, then you have to cook the light, easy vegetable and play the music which gonna change your mindset. Okay, make sure your mind would be okay. If little bit still, so you gonna fuse less energy of your body and of your mind. Try to play the music around you. If somebody can cook, teach them. Basically, it's my request to everybody, teach your family member to cook. Don't make them dependent on you because this is the very first weakness of the human being, especially in Indian family. Men never cook, and this is the duty of the female that they should teach them. Okay, okay, now this is your task. Give them the that responsibility. Now this is the time you have to cook, not just because you are man or I'm female, just because you require these things. Now I just tell them you required what. But if you don't have any option and your kids are very small, they cannot cook for themselves, that time try the play create the environment, certain kind of environment around you, peaceful environment around you. Play the music, soothing music, whatever music you like, and little bit dancing, and try to change your mind, and then start cooking. Okay, because immediately the food, the moment you touch the food, gonna absorb the energy of your body and of your mind. So this trick you can apply, and then see how it's gonna work. Okay, so uh, so meet you in the meditation class. Bless you guys, and bye bye. Take care. Keep practicing. Don't waste this knowledge and this education, because this is a very important information which I'm giving you. I practice myself many years, and I guarantee that if you change these things in your habit, in your lifestyle, definitely you can get whatever you want, especially the physical health and mental health of your body, of your mind, and your family. Namaskaram. Om Shanti. Bless you guys. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Good afternoon and namaste everyone. I hope I am audible.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning. We have Blake, Valerie, Jennifer, who else? Ru, Amber, and Brenda, Vega, Margaret,
Hello.
Dagmar.
Good to see
Hello.
you again. How are you today?
I am good, Amber. Like millions of happiness in
Aw,
each
that's
of
great.
myself. Yes. And how are you?
I'm doing fine. Doing fine. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Fighting off some a couple body aches and pains, but yeah, I'm happy here in Bali.
Couple of body aches and pains with due to the practice.
Well, yeah, so I hurt I torqued my back on Friday, and it's just I'm giving it a few days to rest, and then I stepped in a pothole yesterday and twisted my ankle.
So you need some rest, or if there is a massage therapist or like a massage guy or a massage
Yeah, I should probably. Yeah, it's a
shop,
good idea. Mm-hmm.
you have to at least in a week, one time or twice a week, to avoid muscle pain or bone injury as you are practicing like more time. Actually, this is
So
for
you're saying I
all.
should do a massage twice a week?
Maximum twice a week or like minimum once a week. If we are practicing Ashtanga or Vinyasa, it is a must and a very necessary to do a body massage. There are different types of it regularly or at least once a week. We must, so that we could get that flexibility, more flexibility in our muscles and our bone joints. Also, it avoids from injury. Without a massage, just keeping the practice
Got
will
it.
hurt. Yeah. Not only for you, for every student. I hope you cannot hear the sound of the window, okay? Right. So today, in our anatomy session, I think yesterday we have seen the motion and movement of our bone joints. Also, before that, we have completed the skeletal system. Before the completion of the skeletal system, what we have seen the names and the location of the bones, the all types of the bone joints with the examples of the movable bone joints and in which direction they will move. From this, we have also studied in our skeletal system the structure of our long bone, the structure of our small bone, and the microscopic structures for the compact and the cancellous or the spongy bone, which is inside our bone matrix. Yes, Valerie,
Yes.
I can hear you. You can mute yourself. Yes, no problem. Now, today we will start with our muscular system and we will see, first introduce it. The muscular system made up of the muscles. The muscular system made up of the muscles and the muscle, the basic muscle is made up of in our body. What is the muscle made up of? In general, we have the water plus protein filaments makes up our muscle, or the protein contained. Our muscle needs the water plus the protein filaments will make up our muscle. So these water and with the protein filaments, like 60% is only water content in our muscle, 60-70%, with the amount of protein filaments. Those protein filaments are the actin and myosin. So we have the protein filaments, actin and myosin. So these actin and myosin, two protein filaments, are there for the structure or are present inside our deep muscle cells or deep muscle tissues, where they are responsible for the contraction of these muscles. These actin and myosin protein filaments will contract each other, and these protein fibers will pull each other, which will create the contraction and extension of the muscles when they are moving or when we move any structure of the part of the body. So just remember at the moment, these two, actin and myosin, two names of the protein filament. Where are they present? In the sarcomere. Where is the sarcomere? In which layer? In the fascicle. That we will study later when we will see about the structure of our muscles. Like we see in the structure of the bones, we have the three bone cells, the osteoclast, osteoblast, and osteocyte. Similarly, we will also see about our actin and myosin filaments when we will study our structure of muscle. So this is what the muscle, like we have 206 number of bones in our body. The number of muscles in our body are, yes, this is the question for you. 600 are the only skeletal muscles. There are more than 700, 750 muscles up to in our body. More than 7 to 750 muscles in our body. Apart from this, we will see, or what is the function of the muscular system, or what are the functions of these muscles? Why do we need these muscles, or what is the purpose of having the muscles?
To hold up the skeletal system and the organs.
Very correct. And it does hold the skeletal system and the organs. One more function. So it does hold, and it also protects our bones. So for the protection of our bones, we have the muscles over the surface of our bones. As we are also connected with our bones, we create a framework. Again, next function of the muscles in our body. So these muscles also generate, heat in our body. What? To produce heat in our body, the vessels inside the nerves is what? Can also generate heat in our body. That you will feel when you will feel that heat, when you will practice this session of Ashtanga, Vinyasa, Power Yoga, you will know how much heat is being produced, how much calories you burn, like when you exercise. So this is what another function. When your muscles get contracted, extended, when they get pumped, you will produce the heat in your body. So apart from this, the functions of our muscles, we do have the properties of the muscles. And what are these properties of our muscles? So yes, please. Unmute yourself.
Yes. Elasticity, contractibility, extensibility, elasticity, and adaptability.
Tell me from the beginning what you have written. First one.
The first one is excitability. How do you say it?
Okay, so excitation or irritable. So excitation or irritation. So the muscles are getting excited. That means the muscles has contains the nerve, and the nerve which brings the signal, the neurons from our nervous system, and it gives to the muscles to get the contraction and extension. That is what the muscles get excited or irritated by the nerves. Again, the next contractible and extensible, right?
Yes, that's right.
Contractible, that is the muscle can get contracted, and extensible, the muscles are all extended as well. So we can contract and extend our muscles. But there is a slight difference in extension of the muscles. This is what when we stretch, contract, when we flex the part of the body. The elasticity. What does this mean, elasticity? You only tell me the difference between extension and elasticity. Though these words are what similar in the meaning, but they are not exactly the same. They do have the similar thing when they are extended, and elastic in nature means they are also stretched. But to get back into its original form, that is what the property of elasticity. So they are all elastic in nature, the muscles. Apart from only extension, they can be also elastic in nature. Then adaptability. So adaptability is what they get adapted to whatever form of exercise which we choose, or however we use these muscles, the group of muscles in our life. So these muscles get adapted to any form of exercise you practice at least for a week or two. The muscles are getting adapted. How we work and how we move them every time. Adapted to all this nature. So that is the concept of hypertrophy here of the muscles, deep adaptation. In short, excitation with the nerve, with the help of the nervous system, contraction, extension, elastic in nature with the adaptability. These are general, these 5 properties. What are these 5? These are what? The properties of the muscle. And we have this group of muscles cells now, which we will see. So we do have like the cells in our bone. We have the 3 kinds of muscles or types of muscle cells. So give the next heading after the properties of the muscle, types of muscle cells. So in that types of muscle cells, the first type of muscle cell is what? The smooth muscle. Or the first type of muscle is what? The smooth muscle. These smooth muscles are also known as visceral muscle. These smooth muscles are also known as visceral muscles. Smooth muscles are muscles where you found these muscles. Yes. These smooth muscles, where do you found? In your organs, in your epiglottis, and intestines inside your stomach. Yes, Blaze or Brittany, you have written down even the previous group things as well. So we do found these muscles in our internal organs like our gastrointestinal tract. Then we have the bladder, and inside the large intestine, inside the small intestine, like our esophagus, the food pipe is also made up of these smooth muscles. Which muscles are not contracted, or which muscles are called involuntary muscles. These smooth muscles are known as involuntary muscles. These involuntary muscles mean the muscles which are not in control with the help of our mind. We cannot control with our mind. Those muscles are involuntary muscles. Okay. So this smooth muscle lies under the section of involuntary muscle. These smooth muscles are single nucleus. So the muscle cells, when we see these muscle cells of the smooth muscles, that is of our stomach, of our intestines, then you will find single nucleus in each smooth muscle cell. These smooth muscle cells are without any bands of striation. So they don't have striated bands, we will see. These striated bands contain the sarcomere, which contains those protein filaments. Here in the smooth muscles, they don't have. So how is this smooth muscle look like? These smooth muscle cells, they are with the single nucleus in each muscle cell without any striated band, which will help contract the muscles with our mind. So these are involuntary. They do contract steadily and rhythmically, but not with the help of our mind. On their own, they are getting engaged. Soft muscles, very smooth muscles. This is what one of the types. Here you will see the smooth muscle cells with the single nucleus in each. Yes, Amber.
So can you give us, I know the heart is an involuntary smooth muscle, correct?
Yes, but heart is the second type, which we will see now.
Oh, okay. So can you give me some very specific examples of types of smooth involuntary muscles?
Yes, write it down. Again, I have told, I will repeat.
Oh,
the
sorry.
Esophageal tract, our food pipe, which connects our throat to our stomach. Then the next is our stomach. That stomach, not our abs I am talking about here, the rectus abdominis, not those muscles. So the layer on our stomach is very smooth. So deep muscles they are. Like our large intestine, if you will see the large intestine, the small intestine. So in general, all the organs, internal organs here in the abdomen are the smooth muscles. The internal organs, the large intestine, the small intestine, the stomach, the bladder, are all the smooth muscles with our esophagus, the food pipe here, where they will contain each nucleus in each cell under a microscopic structure. Got it?
Got it. Thank you. Sorry that you had to repeat.
No problem. Then the next type of the muscle is cardiac muscle. This is related to the heart. Unlike the smooth muscle, the next type is the cardiac muscle. Second one. This is what? Heart. You found this in your heart. In this cardiac muscle, again, this lies under the section of involuntary muscle. Again, you cannot control your heartbeat. This is what a very rare case, like in millions or billions of people, very few people are being tested. They are controlling their heartbeat. But this in general, like an average person, like us. We have in the scientific text, cardiac muscle is an involuntary muscle which we cannot control with our mind, continuously keep beating. Then this cardiac muscle is also with the single nucleus. Single nucleus, but in a cross section. In this single nucleus, they do have this striated band. So that contraction of the heart is what being done with the striated band. For example, this is what you will see a cardiac muscle cell. This is what zigzag it looks like. And into this cardiac muscle cell, you will find out the bands of striation, this stripe, which will help the heart to contract and relax at the same time. And in between, you will find the single nucleus in each cardiac cell, that is your heart. So they have single nucleus just with striated bands. Smooth muscles did not have this striated band, and they did have only single nucleus. This cross section, the zigzag structure of every cell you will find out in your heart. Similar to smooth muscles, they are also involuntary. That means without, or we cannot control with our mind. The third type, so we have first type smooth muscle, the second type cardiac, that is heart, and the third one, the last one, is the skeletal muscle. This is what? The skeletal muscle. Here in the skeletal muscles, they lie under the section of voluntary muscles. That means we can control these muscles with the help of our mind. These are controlled with the help of our mind. All the skeletal muscles, apart from our internal organs and apart from the heart, the rest of the muscles are all skeletal muscles. 600 kinds of skeletal muscles in your whole body. The rest of them are smooth and cardiac. Voluntary muscles, like we can control with our mind whenever we want to contract and relax those parts. These skeletal muscles are with the multinucleated or multiple nucleus. They have more than one nucleus in each cell, and these multiple nucleated skeletal muscles also have striated bands. The multiple nucleated striated bands muscular cells, they look like a cylindrical structure. So these look like the cylindrical structure, these muscle cells. And in between these muscle cells, you will find out many bands of striation. They are these muscle fibers. And in between these bands of striation, you will not find only one nucleus, but you will find out multiple nucleus in each muscle cell for the skeletal muscles, which are not present in our internal organs and in our heart, but in all the rest of the body, like the biceps, triceps, quadriceps, all the back muscles, all the leg muscles are all the skeletal muscles which we can control with our mind. These are the three types of muscles. Got it here up till here? Yes. Others as well?
Yes.
Good. Now we will proceed further and we will see the groups of muscle cells. And this group of muscle cells, we will figure it out with the names and the terms used for that. So how are these skeletal muscles named after? So what are these terms that are used in naming the muscles? So write down the notes here. The terms which are used for naming the muscles. Oops. This window is anyway. The terms used for naming muscles. The rest of the 600 muscles in your body will be located and will be named after some terms. What are those terms that we will see? First is what? It depends upon the major term, the size. So how much is the size of the muscle? That is what they are named after. So the first is what? The size. And in the size section, there are some terms. So what are those terms in your size section? We have vastus muscles. Vastus group of muscles like vastus medialis, vastus lateralis. So vastus is what? A term that is used to present the huge size of the muscle. So here write down the word vastus. That means it presents huge. Then we have the size maximus, like glutes maximus or the pectoralis, like we have the maximus. And what does it represent? The maximus muscle, large size. So the muscles named after the maximus, that means those muscles are large in size. The muscles named after the name vastus, that muscles are huge in size. Similarly, we have longus group of muscles. These muscles are named. That means the muscles are long in size. Minimus, maximus is large and minimus is what? Small in size. So the muscles named after the minimus, we have short muscles are also like these are known as brevis. So those muscles which are named after the term brevis, those muscles are short in size. So these are what the group of the muscles depending upon the size of our muscles. Vastus, maximus, longus, minimus, and brevis. The rest of the muscles will be we will see now. I will erase this now. Up till here, you got it? Write down the second one. The second major term is what? The shape. So what does this will indicate? The shape of the muscle. That means the muscles named after how it will be shaped. That are the deltoid muscles. So how is the shape of the deltoid which you found in your shoulder? The triangular shape. So write down under the shape section. The first one, deltoid. So the muscles named after the deltoid are known as or are in triangular shape. Then we have rhomboid. The muscles named after the rhomboid in your back has the shape of like rhombus. This is a very deep muscle in your back as well. Then you have the shape latissimus or your lats. Latissimus or your lats, those muscles which are at the side of your back. These lats muscles are wide in shape. They are wide in shape. Then we will have the muscles named after teres. Teres. The muscles named after the teres will be round in shape. Will be round in shape. Teres. This is my R. So please don't get confused when I will write the letter R. I have learned like this in my English class. I don't know much English, but this is my R. We have trapezium or trapezius. The name of the muscle trapezius is what? Trapezium in shape. The shape of the trapezium you will find like this is what? This shape similar to the rhomboid with the four sides, but this is what the trapezius muscles look like. This is what the terms which are used for naming the muscles depending upon their shape. So the next, if you written down the deltoid with the triangular, rhomboid with the rhombus, latissimus wide in shape, teres round, and trapezius, we will figure it out the next term after the shape of those muscles. Can I erase this?
Yes.
Thank you. The next is what? The direction of the muscles. The direction of the fibers. So write down the number 3. The direction of muscle fibers or fibers, you can say. We have the skeletal muscles which have the bundles of muscle fibers which helps to contract the muscles and extend. So what are these direction of the muscle fibers? So we have rectus, transverse, oblique, and orbicularis. That's it, very simple. We have rectus. Rectus means in one straight line. So they are straight fibers. Where you find this rectus muscle? Rectus abdominis, rectus femoris in your thighs. In simple, for example, I will tell you like in your abdomen, where your 6 packs, 8 packs are being present. Those muscles are what? In the center of your abs. Rectus in one straight line, the muscle fibers, those muscle fibers, they look like this. These muscle fibers. The next is what? Transverse. Transverse muscles are generally horizontal, the flat. Transverse muscles are what? The across muscles, you can say, or the horizontal flat muscles also you can say, they are across. So these transverse muscle fibers will look like this, transverse abdomen muscles. Also you will have the obliques. Obliques are what? The muscles, the direction of fibers are diagonal in shape. So they are diagonally arranged. How are they? Like this, diagonal. At both the sides, you will find the obliques. At the side, when you will go for the core workout, you will develop your obliques at the side. Twisting, where you will twist. That is what? Your oblique. Then orbicularis. Orbicularis is what? The structure or circular. Orbicularis. Muscles, that means they are circular. So direction of fibers means these are round fibers. The circular means the round fibers. Orbicular is the obliques are diagonal. Where you find like this round fibers, in which muscles you will find out?
In the
Around your
shoulder. Oh, can you
around
find
your
them in?
eyes
All right. Okay. All right.
and around your mouth. The orbicularis oris muscle and orbicularis oculi muscle. This is like around your eyes. This is what the muscle fibers. Shoulder muscles is triangular, deltoid, deltoid muscle. And what is deltoid? Triangle shape, which we have written before with the shape. This is direction of fibers. So these muscle fibers round in circular, not the structure. We will see up till here. There are more couple of terms which are being used to identify and name the group of muscles according to their names. The couple of names we will see in the next session, followed by our structure of our muscles and the location of every muscle in every part of our body. Then in the coming week, we will see the rest of the muscles in the bone joints, how it will work. Up till here, is it clear?
Yes. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. If you have any questions, ask
Thank
me.
you.
If you have your next class, please go. Don't be late. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.